We're standing in front of Parlor Gallery, which is located at 717 Cookman Avenue, and we are here for the opening of Away We Go, which is a solo show by D.Reynolds. My name's Jen. Yeah, so in combination between the two of us, we've had a gallery here for 9 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Else you want to say?
No, we can do this again when it's warmer out.
Yeah.
Gomez Bueno. I have 6 paintings that are acrylic and oil, 5 of them on canvas and 1 on a wood panel, and then I have a sculpture. Well, this piece is called Maximus. When I created it, it was called Emperor Curulus Maximus, but then with time we dropped 2 words and now it's just Maximus. It's created with a plaster polyurethane foam, then spray paint. It's taking the classic bust genre to and spin it off, right? So I started with something very kids in a way, and then I think I worked on it till it was a piece of pop art. That was my idea that I wanted to accomplish with it.
My name is D.Reynolds. Well, if you needed like a title or like a description, you'd say it's definitely influenced by surrealism, Dali, Magritte, but you could say that it's more of the pop surreal tradition of Mark Ryden, Todd Shore. So it's kind of a mixture of fantasy, surrealism, mythology, fairy tales, and just kind of my own weird inventions that might come about. Well, it definitely has a sense of humor. I knew that as soon as the idea came to me. It was a girl with a corn dog walking a 3-headed something. But it was also this idea that this was probably one of the most difficult paintings because I was dealing with, I had to create this I had to invent because I actually went to a zoo, took pictures of a giraffe because I never really looked at a giraffe carefully. Until you don't really know something until you see it. So I invented this creature. I did my grad school work in Arizona, so was influenced by the jackrabbits, lots of jackrabbits in the desert. But it's kind of complicated because I was trying to throw in all these different figures and all this different flora and fauna. So it's a little bit more of a lot of things to juggle. So and also the corn dog was just corny, humorous, phallic, humorous. Vulgar, but also done with a little bit of, hopefully a little bit of style. I won the Griffin Prize, which is a residency in London. The difference is that I won the North American prize, so I was the first North American to win this prize to go to London. So I was in London for 6 weeks, made work, but also went around all over the place of London. So went to the big museums, the Tate Modern, National Gallery, etc. But I also went to the galleries, so Gagosian, White Cube. But I also had a guy who was a mentor. He wasn't really a mentor. He was a gentleman who showed me around. He knew London pretty well, so he would go to these small little galleries that he knew of. So in a sense, it was getting kind of a flavor of the art scene in London. But mainly getting to know people too. I met a lot of people through this mentor, the people that were sort of associated with the residency, but also people that they knew who were residents of London. So that was kind of interesting, seeing people who were not just people associated with the art scene, which I kind of like. I really like that more than just meeting art people. So I met some really great people and made some friends there that I hope to always have. It reminds me, it's everything sort of old-fashioned-y old, particularly where I'm at. There's all these really old buildings from 100 years ago, I guess. It seems almost like a fairy tale land or going to Main Street Disney or something like that. There's something kind of quaint about it. I was expecting Jersey Shore, that stupid show, which I've never seen, but I was expecting that. But there's something kind of quite quaint about it. And it's a walkable area, which I kind of liked. I was dreading to have to get a car and drive around. So there's something quite impressive. I'm amazed at the age of buildings and how they've been really not allowed to decay. So it's quite beautiful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful for the Parlor Gallery for allowing me this opportunity, and thank you for interviewing me.
My name is Andrew Paulin. I've lived in Asbury Park for 12 years. I shop all over town. I go to Toys R Us, I go to Home Goods, I go to dollar stores, and I found objects that inspire me to cover them with tiny glass seed beads. It usually takes me a couple of weeks before concept surfaces, and I usually get a full picture of what I want it to look like, and then I transform them with these beads into things that I think make a statement about our times and human nature in general. Well, there is a dog covered with imagery from a peacock that's called Male Vanity, and he's seated with his head held high as if he's very impressed with himself. There's a pair of dumbbells that I call body image. It's about our 21st century obsession with being trim and fit. There's another piece called Angst. It's a cobra ready to pounce. And I wanted to make it colorful and as beautiful as I could to try to juxtapose against the fear we have of snakes. And then there are 3 rats, and they're called Skin Deep, which was an attempt on my part to take something that we're repulsed by and make it beautiful. I've been with Parlor since they opened 7 years ago, and I usually am in a group show twice a year. So I've shown about 14 times. I love what I do. I find it meditative, and it satisfies my obsessive compulsive nature.
Okay, it's Parlor Gallery at 716 Cookman Ave in Asbury Park. I'm Joe Borzata, and we've been open since last July. This show, Critters, is a group show featuring work that has animals, birds, bugs, all sorts of creatures in it, and a variety of media and styles. We've done some shows in here exploring the art environment. We had a show about the urban environment with cityscapes. We had a show about people, and this is kind of exploring another avenue of the world around us. And it's a really diverse show.
Thank you. How's your experience of having a gallery on Cookman?
It's been a really interesting experience, and now that the weather's good, winter was pretty dead, but now that the weather's good, the town's coming alive again, like most shore towns do. And we're having a hell of an opening tonight, so I'm pretty jazzed.
Thank you. Best of luck with your gallery.
Thank you, sir.
So what's your name?
Claudia Crease.
And what is the name of the piece?
Up.
And can you say something about it?
Well, sure. It's a mixed media painting, so it involves collage, which is paper and paint, and there's graphite in there too, some polymer and some netting.
And how long have you been making mixed media work?
Well, for quite a long time, more seriously over the past 4 years. The piece is about transformation, and so, yeah.
And is this the first time you've shown at the Parlor Gallery?
Yes, it is. I'm really excited to be here. Joe's got a beautiful gallery. It's a gorgeous space, and there's lots of wonderful art, so hopefully people can come and see the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
My name is Bernardo. I'm a sculptor. I do mostly automotive related images. I like to take the image of an automobile and kind of give it a twist, sort of a pop surreal twist. The name of this series is Carp, and they're obviously a mashup of Chinese goldfish and vintage 50s cars. I had bumped into a library book that was all about Chinese goldfish, and something just sort of like clicked, and I thought that they would make an interesting piece because of the way that Chinese goldfish have the ornate heads that they have, and I swapped out that for the 50s cars. I've been doing this series for about 10 years now. I've been doing sculpture for about 35 years. Joe Borzata is a fantastic guy. He's an excellent painter himself, and it's been a wonderful experience.
My name is Linda D'Amico. I paint in oil, and this series that I'm exhibiting here today are a series of portraits of pigeons.
And are these particular pigeons, or did you actually go and photograph or sit and watch pigeons?
Yes.
And paint particular individuals?
Yes. What I find, they're one of the most intelligent birds and animals on the planet. Most people disrespect them and take them for granted and dislike them. But they're actually, what I found just observing the neighborhood pigeons, they have such distinct personalities and they have a lot of character and they're very intelligent. And so I got to know a lot of the neighborhood pigeons. And I would just observe them, and I became kind of connected to them and decided to honor them by painting them.
And how long have you been painting?
I guess since I was little. I started finger painting, and I haven't stopped.
And is this your first time to show at the Parlor Gallery?
I had one other exhibit here that I was part of a group show.
And has it been a fun experience?
It's been great. Parlor Gallery is so much fun. Joe's a great guy, and it's just a great place to show work.
Thank you very much. Good luck with some sales.
Thank you.
My name's Camelia Ani, and this is my exhibit, The Humans of Asbury Park. I've been doing this for about a year and a half now, and it's street photography. I walk around the streets of Asbury Park and ask people if I can photograph them, and then ask them a personal question. Basically, the point of the project is to try to get a small glimpse into each person's life. I feel like as humans, we stopped connecting with people. We're so involved with technology that we're kind of disconnected a little bit. And if you stop and look around, you'll realize that we're all still really alike in a lot of ways, and we're missing that connection a little bit. So I'm just trying to bring that back to people. So I have on display 800 of my Humans of Asbury Park photos with their captions. And I also have a smaller exhibit of a different photography project that I did called You Get So Alone, and it explores feelings of isolation that's unique to the human condition, which kind of ties into the Humans of Asbury Park, because I feel like it's something that a lot of humans do struggle with, is feelings of isolation, but it kind of balances out, because as much as we do experience those feelings and you look at those photos, you then turn back to the humans and you see that even though we're all unique in our struggles, we all struggle in the same kind of ways and have the same kind of hopes and dreams, and we're all connected somehow. This exhibit is going to be up for the entire month of May at the Collective Art Tank, which is at 529 Bangs Avenue in Asbury Park. And I really hope that you'll all come and see it.
My name is Jimmy Leslie, and I'm the resident artist for Winsor Newton and Liquitex Artist Materials, which are the art materials companies that sponsor the Collective Art Tank. Collective Art Tank's been in this location about 2.5 years, and previously it was in the shops in the arcade on Cookman.
So altogether in Asbury Park?
Altogether 5 years in Asbury Park, yeah.
And could you tell us what the mission of the Collective Art Tank is?
The mission's changed a little bit over the time. It really started out as a place where we offered studio space to artists, where now it's become really a space where we allow artists to teach here for free. So we don't ask anything of them, and that's kind of odd for them sometimes because they think that sounds too good to be true. And we say, no, you can teach your class here. We don't take any money from you, and we also open up the space to people who have creative ideas. So anybody who wants to have an exhibition here, we welcome that too.
And then how do you curate that? How do you make those decisions?
Well, I'm the co-director of the space along with John Vigiano, and John has a background running his former gallery, Gallery 13 here in Asbury Park. So he really is in the back end of that with the curating. It's really mostly him.
And how did you get the current show? How did this come to you?
This actually came about. John had really learned about this. You know, the show Humans of Asbury Parks really developed off of the Humans of New York and that whole theme. And so the artist really reached out to him, and then he thought this was such a wonderful idea. And he has a photography background as well.
Thank you. And anything you want to say to?
Yeah, I think we're just happy to be here. It's such a vibrant community, and for us to be able to have a place that's altruistic, we don't take any money out of it, and that's a rare thing. So to be able to offer something to the arts in that capacity is really rewarding to us.
My name is Ryan Jimenez.
And what do you do?
I'm the general manager here at the Hotel Tides.
And what is the address of the Hotel Tides?
It is 408 7th Avenue, and that's here in Asbury Park.
And in addition to being a hotel, you're also an art gallery.
We are an art gallery, yes. We're an art gallery. We also have a restaurant, and we also have a pool.
And can you tell us something about the current show?
Absolutely. The artists we book out, we tend to use local artists throughout the year, and we let them hang their stuff, and they're installed for between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the season.
So when will this show be up until?
This show's up to mid-June.
And so you have a show throughout the year. You have shows.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
We're here at the Hotel Tides for the opening of a new show. And could you please tell us your name?
My name is Patty, but I'm known as the artist Patricia Radowski.
And could you tell us a little? What's the name of your show?
Asbury Enlightened.
And could you tell us a few things about it?
This show, I was a substance abuse counselor, and I left my position to be a writer and do some writing. And when I'd hit writer's block, I began to paint, and people would ask me, can they purchase the pieces? And I said, certainly. So it became a secondary career for me. I did my first show here in Asbury on Cookman Avenue in 2003. And I'm very happy to be back here again. I've watched the transition. I'm a local. I live in Bradley Beach. And this is a nice little secret hideaway for the locals that I think many people would enjoy coming. They support artists and they have delicious meals here. So I'm glad to be back here in Asbury Park.
And what kind of pieces do you have in the show?
I have a variety of pieces here. I have my latest endeavor is shadow boxes, repurposing pinball machine, back glasses. I basically paint what I feel. So sometimes it may be a 9/11 piece, it may be something jovial, like with these pieces of the pinball machines. And I also have some watercolors and acrylics that are hand-drawn.
So can we go inside and have you say a few words about a few of the pieces?
Sure.
Thank you. So can you say something about these 3 pieces here?
Yes, this is a line that I started to make repurpose frames and using construction or cardboard, and this is a line of brights that I did a while back, and I threw a few pieces in here because a lot of people tend to like them, particularly for contemporary homes. This is a shadow box that I also repurposed. This is from Asbury Park. I have back glasses that were once in machines here that I purchased from someone, and I purchased them a while back, and sometimes I just keep things and then it hits me, and I got the idea for it, and so far they've been very successful. People have been enjoying them.
What happened to the rest of the machines?
I don't know. I purchased it from the...
Sorry, I mean the rest of the machine that you took that from. You still have the rest of it? And
No, I just bought the back glasses from someone. Yeah, someone was selling the back glasses, actually at Ocean Grove Flea Market. So sometimes I'll go there and I'll pick up pieces that I think could later be repurposed into art.
It's very interesting how the colors of the piece change when the lights change.
Yeah, and I make them with remotes, so whatever your home, whatever your theme is, your colors, you can play with it and change the mood and the tone.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Does it go disco?
I haven't tried that yet, but I have some disco shoes.
And can you tell us about the piece all the way to the left?
This is another piece repurposed. It's decoupaged. There's newspaper underneath it. symbolic of sometimes when you read the news, the chaotic feeling that you may experience after you read a heavy news day with a lot of disturbing news. And that's what I'm trying to convey in this piece. This piece is a little more of a statement. I was a substance abuse counselor, and this piece is entitled Molly, and it relates to the drugs that some of the kids take, and the black light, the symbolic meaning to when they turn on, and the different colors and the way their brain expands and what they experience.
My name is Malcolm Navius.
Okay.
This is Heaven Art and Antiques at 721 Cookman Avenue.
And how long have you been here?
We've been here for 6 years now.
And how long have you lived in Asbury Park?
18 years.
And what did you do before this?
I was in New York. I was a psychotherapist, and we retired down here now. This is my retirement place.
And what kind of things do you... So tell us about your gallery.
Well, my gallery deals with a whole eclectic type of artists. There are sculptors, there are artists, there are painters, there are pottery people, there are photographers. So, and usually we do shows for more than one person. This time we only got 2 people in the show, but it's a wonderful show.
And what do you have on the first floor?
The first floor I have collectibles, we have clothing, we have jewelry, we have beautiful imported clothing, and we really are excited about this season.
And how long will this show be up?
The show will be up until the 28th of June.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Tim Horn. I am a resident of Asbury Park, and this is my show, Sense of Space.
And could you tell us something about it?
Sure. It's just what I wanted to do with this show was to really start to take a look at how we actually perceive the space that we're in. And what I wanted to do is to really just sort of explore, what are the sort of things, how do we actually perceive space? And in this case, I think when we go into space, we bring in our own sort of emotions, we bring in our own sort of behaviors, we bring in our own personalities, we even bring in our own aesthetic values. Plus, we also bring in our own sort of physical senses, both heightened and both muted. And finally, also when we consider what's in a space, we do have a number of different influences on a particular space, such as the climate, such as storms, such as organic and man-made influences. So all of that is always changing. And I think the one thing I really wanted to do was look at photography as a medium to capture that. And it really turns out that you can use photography to capture a true sense of space.
And how long of a period of time does this work represent?
This work actually represents about a calendar year. Some of this work began in 2014, but most of this work is actually through the winter and the spring of 2015.
And is it all shot in Asbury Park or various places?
No, various places. A lot of the work here is actually shot down the Jersey Shore, but many of the photographs are taken in Asbury Park. But we do have some that are in New York. We do have some that are in Seattle. We have some that are in Bologna, Italy. But most of the pieces are actually in Asbury Park.
And could you say something about the piece that you're standing next to?
Sure. This is actually called Against the Elements, and which is really interesting because this actual vessel there is called the Braveheart. And this is actually a ship that was washed ashore on the First Avenue beach in Asbury Park. And they ended up towing it to the North Lot up on in Asbury Park. And it pretty much sat there all winter. And it was such a compelling subject. And this just happened to be one of the biggest snowstorms that we had, and we had tremendous snow squalls. So to be out there at around 6:30 in the morning, capturing this, really in the, kind of in the dead of winter at first light, it really was a, truly magical and sort of harrowing experience. And I really do think this image sort of captures that. So it really does bring us back to, utilizing photography to capture this. This piece here is called The Settled Sea, which is actually, it was probably the first really nice day that we had in spring of 2015. And essentially this is on the outflow in between Ocean Grove and Asbury Park, right up on top of that. And this is actually a very long exposure. This is about a 90-second exposure, right as the sun was breaking. And it really was just an absolutely beautiful moment. Really does bring a lot of optimism and just really a lot of calm, which is really sort of emblematic of what spring is, especially down the Jersey Shore.
And is that fog, or is that from the exposure?
No, this is because it's a very long exposure. It just brings a sense of calm to the ocean, so that you actually don't see any of the waves, you don't see any of the ripples or anything like that.
My name is Maribel Guerrero, and the name of my show is Bodies of Work. I chose the term Bodies of Work because it's really a play on words, actually. It's about bodies that I've captured, but it's a little more than that. It's about a series of images that I use. Primarily from what I call the BlackBerry files. The BlackBerry files started back using my BlackBerry as sort of a little picture journal, what I call the gritty picture journal. It's really the way in which we live in the 21st century. We want to capture things. It's instant gratification. So for me, it was a way of capturing things as they happened. It was also my escape from the regular day. These images from the BlackBerry files are what I call still life with architecture. I'm an architect by trade, and fascinated by architecture, and architecture is all around us. Much like my paintings, because I am a painter, much like my paintings, these images are all about layers. Layers in what I feel that life is. A series of layers. What I was struck by when I did these pieces was coming up to actually the New York City windows, because I work in New York City, the New York City windows that are in constant change. And when I stepped up to them to actually look at them, I actually saw life behind me. And it was that series of layers that I found really interesting, and they were captured by the reflection. So it was kind of a juxtaposition of what's really happening, what's figure, what's ground, who really is the still life with architecture. Is it them or is it me? And at this point, it's actually me, because I am watching everything happen all around me. So it was really a lot of fun to work in these images.
Could you say something about just the one in the middle?
Oh, yes. I actually called this one Ants Marching, if you're familiar with Dave Matthews. Ants Marching, all about, the drones just going to work in and out. And it was something really interesting. It was an actual empty window in a storefront. And as I was watching the safe that I saw and found really interesting, again, I started to see the layers behind me, and I saw, oh my God, look at what's happening behind me. People going to work, taxi cabs just going in and out, and fast pace. People going about their lives and about their world, passing through what I'm looking at. Originally looking at the piece itself, looking at the vault itself, and then seeing everything around me. I loved it. It was very simple. They're very gritty images. Certainly I have others that have been done with the regular camera, but the BlackBerry files I find very, very interesting to me, because to me it's raw and it's fun.
And how long would you say you've been doing this?
Well, I've been an artist for over 20 years now. I don't consider myself a photographer. I consider myself an artist. Photography is just one of my mediums.
Anything else you want to say?
I think that's it. I'm really looking forward to this show and really enjoying sharing the space with Tim. He does fabulous work. Hey, who doesn't love Asbury Lanes? I mean, it's really an iconic place here in Asbury Park, a place that we all love. It was actually a beautiful day. There was really nothing to do but just photograph this fabulous location. It really speaks more about what Asbury used to be and what it's turning into in terms of some of the decay that we see in the signage. For me, that was very important to be able to capture that. We see so many things changing in Asbury Park, but some of the things that are not changing are the things that we love. Certainly, this is an iconic location, as well as some of the other locations that Tim has shown as well. So this was a lot of fun to photograph. Really popish in a way, and very colorful. When we come to Asbury Park, we see so many different things, whether it's some of the iconic buildings or the music, and to me this was a fresh and crisp way of portraying Asbury Park.
Our show will be up until June 28th.
Thank you. And I think that's the right date, right?